guys tried to hit on him since he did look like a girl from behind.
That was cool. Thanks.
You're welcome, bro.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up, please, if you want. Whatever. Today we're jumping into r/LegbeardStories. Hooray! We're continuing the Unfortunate saga. It actually comes from my personal subreddit r/ReddX reads. Speaking of my personal subreddit r/ReddX reads, you have to say the whole thing. Yes. We have hit 1,000 members, which is totally unheard of. I never thought that my personal subreddit r/ReddX reads would reach those kinds of numbers. I mean, it was just a place for people to come by and post their stories, and it seems like now everybody wants their stories read, and I am more than happy to deliver it. So thank you guys so much for making that subreddit what it is, for making the channel what it is, for making my life what it is. I am not even exaggerating. This has been a dream come true, and I don't always gush about it, but maybe I should, because it's been a wild year, the best year of my life thus far, and I have all of you to thank. So I will thank you with some hearty cringe. We'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this LegbeardStories cringe. Unfortunate Part 10, The Land of Dreams, and Vomit on a Plane. The land of milk and honey mussy. We're going there, baby. I have returned from a most enjoyable sailing trip. Oh, and I am back with another installment of Unfortunate. My goodness, you had some nice relaxation, and it's time to throw all that out the window. Props to you, OP. I hope you enjoyed your trip. Not safe for work warnings, of course. Leg and neckbeard stories are gross, and this story is no exception. You have been warned twice now. Tales of abuse can come at you out of nowhere in this part. You have been warned thrice now. Count it up. Add it up. We also got a link swarm, a prologue, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. God damn! When this compilation comes out, it's going to be like the biggest one so far, and I like that. We've also got my buddy Brute giving her side of the Unfortunate in her own sagas, parts 1 and 2, and we will get to those eventually, probably once I wrap up the ones that Greenie is writing. Anyways, we have our cast. Unfortunate. Ooh, woo! She's the most timid, kindest, and most helpful person who just wants to assist her friends. But she's so mysterious and never talks about herself, so no one understands her. This is sarcasm, if you couldn't tell. She doesn't care for the spotlight, but somehow always manages to scream or say inappropriate things or cry or self-harm her way right into the middle of it. We've also got Curly, virgin Latino man in the US that unfortunately ensnared. I guess that's like the newest love interest or something like that. Poor guy, he doesn't even know what awaits him. Vegan, Unfortunate's lesbian best friend that had summarily rejected her romantic advances. Naruto headband, friendless, self-obsessed martial artist that beat his girlfriend to feel powerful. Greenie, OP, and the beaten girlfriend that was mentioned. Too exhausted to think, just trying to put out all these fucking dumpster fires. Pilot and Pez are Naruto headband's only friends, and Mimic is OP's friend, who she shared the same first name with. Everything else was basically opposite: skin color, hair type, height, etc. She pined after Naruto headbands and left OP with a slap. We'll reintroduce her quickly for some future cringe. Yeah, I thought it was over with her. We haven't seen hide nor hair of her or Baldy, but we've got a few new friends to play with. Vegan coming in, Mimic making her return. Oh, I'm looking forward to this tasty cringe. Where last we left off, Naruto headband has some major superiority / inferiority complexes. Now, I want to be clear on this, that it is 100% an inferiority complex. He's faking the superiority side to try and convince himself that he doesn't feel so inferior. You know what I mean? I see right through this fucking dude. I think we all do. He's such an amazing artist and martial artist. Us lowly mortals aren't fit to witness his power. Also, he liked to beat his girlfriend to feel mighty, as real men do, I guess. And he drew nasty lactation porn because the internet just didn't have good enough spunk material for his highness. Only milky titties of the highest caliber will do. God damn, I love that. Unfortunately, was also one kinky little gremlin who OP let into the local Dance Dance Revolution community, and unfortunately burnt through it like a zombie horde, leaving none alive after the cringe had fully infected them. OP was thusly ostracized, and in the end, even Nookie left her spoils unsated. None there dared to touch her poon. Those dudes know what's best. They're like, nah. I'm good. I stick with video games. Video games will keep you safe, keep you out of trouble. Unfortunately, Nookie's first own apartment didn't have enough in there to be truly nasty. There was always this odd, musty smell that tied in with mold, but it wasn't near as bad as her breath, so her apartment had a twin bed, her IKEA Calyx shelf, and a dining table with 3 chairs, one of which was a stand-in as a nightstand by her bed. And that is it. Boy, that is rough living. Don't you want like a soft, comfy chair? Invest in a sofa. Invest in yourself. Although I guess she's too busy buying Sailor Moon pencil cases and whatnot to actually buy any furniture. If you visited Nookie, you did not want to be in the kitchen. The wood chairs were hard and uncomfortable, and she never cleaned unless she absolutely had to. And even then, not really. She'd leave rotten plates to gather more rot and mold. Oh, that's always one of the triggers for me. I can't do it. I mean, she mostly managed to get someone to buy her takeout. But yeah, the kitchen was a no-go zone. So all that was left was her bed. The only soft surface in the fucking place. We'd sit on her bed and watch anime with her, or I would just watch her play MMOs. Wow, what a fascinating hangout. I'm having such a good time. If it was anime, she'd spoil it to me, or tell me how she'd want to rip the panties off whichever character she had a crush on. And she'd get really mad if I dared to make fun of her OTPs or honeyboos, but poking fun at her made her shut up, at least for a while. Hey, learning the tricks of the trade. And asking nicely or yelling at her not to never seemed to make its way through her exceedingly thick skull. She just seemed physically incapable of stopping herself from telling you which 2 boys she thought should be fucking and how. Oh, now we're diving into like Fujoshi Legbeard territory. If you don't know what a Fujoshi is, I posted a story about that on my Facebook page that I never posted on YouTube. So please go check that out. Or you could just Google Fujoshi if you really want. It's spelled just like it sounds. This apartment first had rats, and it smelled of pellets and pee until it got a cat. And then it smelled of litter and cat shit. And later, the dog, and the floor was just covered in pee and poo-filled newspapers. Oh, God, haven't we established that unfortunately doesn't get animals? Are these the same animals that we talked about in, like, part 5 or 6? Or are these new animals? Why does she have new animals? Oh, what comes after the dog? I guess a lion. Maybe it'll fucking eat her. Sometimes she'd call you over to help her clean. Yeah, we've seen this with Miss Piggy, too. Which, of course, would be her lazily and extremely slowly starting, all the while constantly blathering on and on about how woe is this and woe is that. Her health was so poor, and she's so tired. And at least I'd get annoyed how it took her half an hour to change the sheets or a blanket, which at least she did. I known some beards around here that got the crustiest bed I ever seen. I'm gonna tell you this tale one of these days. So I would always just move her aside and just do her laundry and dishes and vacuum, whatever, quickly, because I could not bear to watch her snailing away at it. "I can't do it without company," she'd say. It's what Miss Piggy said too. "Oh, it's too boring." Bitch, life is boring. What do you want? And of course, she had no problem with having someone do all of this crap for her. Her concept of cooking together, though, was making you just watch her go and make something which was awful or, at best, something mediocre when she followed a recipe, which she only ever did once when learning the recipe. "Yeah, all I need is once. I got a photographic memory. After that, it's memorized." Who you trying to convince, Nookie? She'd lie in her literally shit-filled apartment and game away, getting fired from McDonald's, the clothing store, dropping out of school, refusing to take her meds because they don't do anything for me, going from one love interest to the next, whining about how no one had time for her. Yeah, because the rest of us were in school or at work, sometimes even fucking juggling both at the same time. She had time to make whiny posts on Facebook about no one noticing her, about her latest bruise or scrapes, which is real. OP shared some screenshots with me in the Discord. What the fuck? I'm still at a loss. And she would also beg for free art on multiple websites, to hop onto a fetish website and dream of her true kinky side. Honestly, in that description, again, the sympathetic side of my brain is feeling super bad for her. She is experiencing some severe depression, but how bad can I actually feel for you when you continue to roll in the filth instead of at least attempting to wash it off? You know, she desperately needs some therapy fucking stat, which she might have because she has meds. She just refuses to take them. So yeah, I can't feel too bad for her overall. It was during this time that she found a Mexican-American man online. Curly. Curly was perfect. Since he was Hispanic, he was a family man. Now Unfortunate could suddenly speak a little Spanish. Really, she didn't speak any. And she had always loved Latino love songs. I just love how her personality changes with each new man that comes into her life. It's so wild. Anything Curly was into had always been Unfortunate's passion, and she already had names for their 5 future children, and wanted to move to the US as soon as possible, the land of dreams. She often cited this as the reason why she didn't bother to clean or make her place more like a home. "I'm leaving this dump soon anyway. Why bother?" Yes, why bother cleaning the dump that you made a dump? Nobody else is gonna have to live here once you go away, right? God, that security deposit is gone. It was also around Curly when Unfortunate started really heavily pretending to have a stutter, and it magically disappeared when she spoke in English, or when she was too emotional to remember to fake it. Or, when she simply forgot to do it. It seemed to always be there when she had an audience to prove that she has a stutter. She also constantly, despite if we were good or if I had just returned to her from not being friends, would accuse me of talking shit about her behind her back, or how she knows I'm just gonna leave her, or that I'm purposely sabotaging X, Y, and Z for her. Like I'm behind some MMO player account that was harassing her. Even though she should have known that I refuse to pay monthly for MMOs, so that legit could not have been me. That is like delusion beyond delusion, dude. What the actual hell? Next thing you know, she's gonna tell me all about gang stalking. You remember gang stalking? God damn, that's another rabbit hole. I'm not going there right now. Or, yeah, that she knows that I will physically harm her again. I actually never physically hurt her, even though there were many times during the years that I really wanted to give her plenty of slaps. I had the patience of a saint. And since all of that has been drained into her and Naruto headband, and I no longer possess that patience anymore. In hindsight, I sometimes kind of regret not ever laying into her. She basically constantly kept me on my toes by making me prove to her that none of the things she accused me of doing were true. Oh, it's so exhausting. I just say, you know what? Believe what you believe. I ain't got time. And of course, I was always dodging the minefield of other things to avoid and always wondering, how the hell do I get her to leave without causing another suicidal episode? Things got better when Vegan moved in with Unfortunate. Oh, that poor soul. Vegan was going through some stuff, and she needed a place to stay while said stuff was going on. Vegan kept the place clean and gave Unfortunate her ever-needed company while trying to push her constantly to do better. God, she's just surrounded by people who are, like, willing to give her the benefit of the doubt fucking endlessly. I don't get it. I couldn't do it. I'll also quickly throw Mimic back in because I don't know where to put this. After about 6 months of silence, Mimic deigned to speak to me once again. We started evening classes for learning Japanese together, and I'd go over to her place to listen to her talk basically nonstop, not ever touch her stuff, and let her tell me over and over that she was the one who originally showed me all the funny things that ever existed on the internet. It was simply not possible. I could stumble upon and find funny without her having shown me the way. And of course, she was salty as fuck if I ever contradicted her on this. But despite these, oddities, hanging out with her was at least a reprieve from Naruto headband and Unfortunate, and I enjoyed listening to different kinds of self-indulgent monologues of madness. Oh, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? It's kind of like, out of the fire and back into the frying pan, but you're still feeling the heat. It's still not a good situation. Also, Mimic got herself a boyfriend. I will make a little side story about him because this man was the beardiest of them all. Oh my god, that is quite a statement. Now I'm quite looking forward to Mimic's boyfriend. Meanwhile, Naruto headband was having different kinds of crises. He wanted to keep his long hair and look cool like Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, or maybe like Leon from Resident Evil, but it hurt him deeply because twice, guys tried to hit on him since he did look like a girl from behind. Hey babe, what's your number? Then Naruto headband turns around. Oh shit, sorry bro. And Naruto headband died. His manhood took minus 9,000 points since, he's a weak fucking man baby. I mean, what are your choices here? You either cut your hair short or you put on some fucking muscle. One is a lot easier than the other, and I'll tell you that he's going to take the path of least resistance. It drove him mad, and I laughed because I thought it was funny. But it made him cut his hair, besides berating me for daring to think that there was anything funny about anyone questioning his masculinity. He was very insecure in his sexuality and manliness. Before I started dating him, he wore that Naruto headband and Chinese Han Fu and such, and I thought he was really cool, expressing himself openly and embracing his weirdness. It's one of the reasons that I fell for him, really. But when we were dating, he dressed more normal, or like a Slavic hobo, with eternal sweatpants and training clothes. I don't know if I've ever seen a Slavic hobo, but you painted a picture. And then he would berate me if I was too flashy or too weird in my clothing. The first time I dyed my hair, he cried for the loss of my naturally beautiful blonde hair. You ruined yourself. He kept sobbing. It grows back, right? What the fuck, man? Also, if I spoke about topics he deemed taboo, he would hit me. For example, once on the metro, he hit me because I said the forbidden word, gay. Dun, dun, dun. And of course, with the hitting becoming a regular thing now, this relationship is like, it's so hard to watch. I want to ask OP why over and over again, but she's already explained herself, so I'll just bite my tongue, nod, push my way through, know that it doesn't last forever, but goddamn, I'm sorry that you had to go through it at all, OP. He wasn't even listening to what I was saying. It didn't ever matter what I was actually saying. He never really listened. He just needed to make sure that I didn't make a bad impression in public by speaking about topic matters that he didn't think were appropriate. And way too slowly, I learned that he never actually listened to me. He just wanted an audience and a fangirl to agree and fawn over everything that he said and did as he felt that he deserved. And unfortunately, was actually really similar in that all she really wanted was an audience as well. I think it's okay to ask your partner not to talk about certain subjects that might make you or others uncomfortable. Ask being the operative word. Do not tell. Do not hit. Like, what the? I can't believe I even have to spell this shit out. Ugh! When Pilot and Pez turned 18, Naruto Headband had yet another crisis. He was almost crying and seriously considering abandoning his only friends. Do you want to guess why? Oh, God. I haven't the foggiest idea. All I can really do is root for Pilot and Pez that they do leave him all on his own. What on earth could two 18-year-olds do to upset this self-proclaimed arts and martial arts god? Well, they started drinking. Gasp! The devil's juice! They were dead to him. He literally bitched and whined at me for hours, like they were going to be possessed now and not be themselves at all anymore. How could his friends be so stupid? How could they do this to him? And he was upset to the point of abusing me when I tried to soothe him that it's really not that bad. They're adults. It's their choice. They are allowed to do it legally, and it won't change them as people, so don't worry so much about it. Oh, he worried, and he let me know how ignorant and dumb I was for ever daring to think otherwise. Ugh, this fucking guy, just like more than a handful. It just seems to get worse and worse. And honestly, the fact that he does end up pushing everybody away from him, it's his just desserts, you know? I hope he does end up alone and miserable with nobody but himself. And that is the biggest punishment of all. Now you have to live with a neckbeard inside your head for the rest of your life. So imagine my literally bruised self's shock when he followed suit after turning 18. And they all drank together and had merry times. And took on a new hobby, trying to get my abstaining ass to drink as well. For the record, I never drank until I was 24 and far, far away from Naruto Headband. That's right, gotta keep your wits about you with this fucking dude around. God damn, and I could go on a whole nother tangent about how people want to ask you why you're not drinking. Oh, you want to have a beer? No thanks. Why? Like, what do I have to say? I'm a fucking alcoholic, you know what I mean? Which wouldn't be true, but if I say that, then I just dropped a fucking bombshell. They'll never ask me again. It's the only way to get it to stop. But yeah, that's another tangent. Back then, I refused. I did not feel safe being inebriated around these guys. I needed all control that I could have in this hostile environment. I think I maybe tried to get drunk once, like as a means of self-harm, but nothing really came of it. Oh, OP. I can't wait to witness the escape. I hope it ends in fucking fireworks. One time, Pilot took us all flying on his grandfather's small airplane. He needed to accumulate enough flight hours for his training to become a pilot. And having passengers didn't make a difference one way or the other, so we, that is Pez, Naruto Headband, and I, got to go along for the flight. It was amazing. The sights were breathtaking. The zero-G loops where you practically floated and the ones with extra gravity both felt awesome. However, Small aircraft feel every single turbulent bump and jolt much more clearly than a big Boeing 737, which led me to start feeling nauseous after just a little while. OP, hey pilot. Pilot, aye mate. OP, do you have like a paper bag or something in here? Pilot, nah, I don't think so. Why? OP, I think I'm gonna hurl. Pilot, panicking, no, don't you fucking dare. Not on my Gramps plane. Someone find her a bag. Any bag. Quick. You want to know what my beloved, darling, caring boyfriend Naruto Headband did? He started talking about nauseating things. Rotten food, dead creatures, boogers, diarrhea with recognizable food bits. What a dickhole. He thought my discomfort was hilarious and was egging me on to make me vomit. Because I was really focused on not vomiting, I didn't have a chance to really tell him to quit it. Even if he didn't respect Pilot's grandfather's plane, I did. I didn't want to blow chunks all over it. But I doubt he would have stopped if I kept saying stop it over and over, since the first 3 requests went over his head. It seems like the only thing he understands is physical abuse. Punch him in the mouth. He'll stop. Either that or he'll come right back at you and then, the plane gets out of control and OP's got to grab the only parachute and jump out as the plane crashes into the mountainside with 3 beards inside. And nothing of value was lost that day. And because I didn't seem to be offended by Naruto Headband, Pez joined in on the fun. I told you, nothing of value would have been lost. Now they were both trying to think of more and more gross things to see if they could push me over the edge to actually make me vomit. Pilot, stop it! I'm landing this damn plane if y'all can't stop that! Suddenly I realized that my nauseated state had peaked. It was bad, but it wasn't getting worse. I wouldn't throw up. I was sick, but I was okay. I could hold my lunch. About the same time, I noticed both Naruto Headband and Pez both looking kinda green. Knock, knock. Who's there? Karma. They had managed to make themselves sick. So I relayed rather cheerfully back to them all the nauseating little commentary that they gave me just now. Boogers, diarrhea with visible food bits. That's my favorite one. And I watched their faces get more and more sickly. My name was Karma, and I was a bitch. Maybe it's better than physical abuse. Just that good old boomerang. Pilot, you're all bastards! We're landing! Keep your damn lunches where they belong. At some point, I caught Naruto Headband in a lie. He had started to lie to me if and when he hung out with Pez and Pilot. He didn't want me joining. I don't know why, and he blamed me for it, of course, and made many excuses about how I can't come because someone needs to watch the dogs, and we can't make anyone else watch the dogs because they're my responsibility. He, of course, rarely, if ever, watched the dogs or walked them, and regardless, it was just an excuse to not have me hang out with them. To Pilot and Pez, he lied that I didn't even want to be there. I think he felt insecure whenever Pilot and Pez thought that I was funny or cool, that they'd fall for me, or that they thought I was cooler than him. Maybe both. I don't really know. But sometimes I'd see him anyways. And they were fun guys. I liked them. But Naruto Headband was very careful to keep me on a short leash. I wasn't allowed to interact with either of them without his constant supervision. God, what a fucking neurotic mess. That is the smallest dick energy ever. Which I think I pointed out in the last episode, but I'm gonna point it out again. It needs to be said twice. In fact, Naruto Headband lost his shit if Pilot, being rich and giving, for example, offered to buy me some ice cream. Naruto Headband would come and stand in between me and Pilot, puffing out his chest and glaring at Pilot. Back off. She's my girlfriend. Both me and Pilot were quite confused. Pilot replied, "Yeah, I know. I just offered to get her some ice cream. It's not a big deal. I'll buy you one too, man." Naruto Headband hissed, "She is my girlfriend." Does buying somebody ice cream mean that you want to bang him? It's ridiculous. That means Pilot is trying to get it in with OP and Naruto Headband. So Naruto Headband has no reason to be jealous. Take the ice cream and take the the special cream. God damn it. All right. Both me and Pilot backed off after that. Admittedly, it didn't help that for whatever reason, Naruto Headband's mom sometimes asked me, "Am I not ready to move on from Naruto Headband? You're so young, and in youth, you should date around to get a feel for who you are and what you like. Pilot's a nice boy. Why wouldn't you want to date him?" The mom is fucking shipping the best friends. Oh, God, that's amazing. She knows that her own son is a piece of crap. She's like, "You should really just stay away." God damn, I love it. I mean, yes, Pilot was a nice boy, but I never saw him that way. And I don't know if his mom relayed her thoughts to Naruto Headband. She talked to me in private about her ideas on teen dating. Yeah, stay out of that, Mom. It's over for you. And it got way worse, of course, when Pilot's dad died of a brain aneurysm. Holy shit. He was devastated. Naruto Headband glared at me when I approached Pilot and took him aside to tell him my condolences and all that. As he might know, I had lost my mom too, OP. So if you need to talk to someone who understands, even like the crazy stuff, the weird stuff, I'm here, okay? You can vent at me anytime. No judgment. And that's when Naruto Headband bursts into our conversation, his voice dripping with venom. "And what are my two lovebirds up to?" Pilot was literally crying his eyes out. I just looked shocked. I looked at Pilot and then at him and went, "Oh, I don't know. We were discussing how his father died very suddenly and how traumatic and hurtful that can be. How much I understand that pain. Have you lost a parent, Naruto Headband? Do you possibly know what that's like?" I gave him a very pointed look, and he went pale, looking at me and Pilot. Naruto Headband, No. Never mind." And he left me and Pilot alone to talk about loss. Good for you putting him in his place, for real. Naruto Headband did not understand. He could never understand. But he sure as hell drilled me on every single detail without letting me fall asleep until he was satisfied that me and Pilot hadn't tried to fuck instead of talking about his dead father. He's the most insecure person in the world. He literally did not seem capable of even caring that Pilot had lost his dad. He just wanted to make sure that I stayed where I belonged, and that Pilot wouldn't leave him if he left a bad impression by seeming as callous as he actually was. He never spoke to me about how Pilot must feel losing his dad. I tried to help him empathize and imagine, and of course, he never fucking understood. And he never will. Actually, my best memories of Naruto Headband is when I was with him and the boys, Pez and Pilot. Naruto Headband is a totally different person with witnesses around and without. He couldn't grope me or advance into rape in front of them. Sure, he'd still insult me in front of them, and they'd laugh, delighted, like, "Isn't she amazing? She doesn't sweat the small stuff like most girls would." Sometimes I didn't, and sometimes what he said hurt me so badly that I excused myself to the bathroom to hide and cry because I needed to appear cool and above it all, so I wouldn't be thrown out of the group for being overly dramatic and bothersome like Unfortunate. Oh, goddamn. Maybe Pez and Pilot aren't so bad after all. Maybe I don't wish that they crashed into a mountainside. They seem like decent fellows. They just have a skewed picture of what's actually going on in this relationship. Pez would later tell me that he thought it was really fucked up, but because Naruto Headband laughed and I didn't fight him, he figured that just maybe we were into some weird shit. I didn't fight him because I had been instilled with this fear that if I dared to cause drama like Unfortunate, I would not have any friends. This was further compounded with that one movie night with Unfortunate where she did cause a scene, which turned out to be her last time with Pez and Pilot for her. That's the one where she like spread her legs and stuff and everybody's like, can you not do that? And she's just like, I'm such a tomboy. And didn't stop doing it. Oh yeah, I probably wouldn't have invited her back either. God damn. So yeah, I wouldn't make a fuss, even if Naruto Headband would call me an artard or the worst person to ever hold a controller or whatever he found so hilarious to insult me with. He'd make it into a joke, so if I got mad, I would seem like I was being unreasonable and humorless. I was in too deep to leave or make a scene and lose my life as I had been groomed to think. So I would just let him insult me in front of them and then rape me in Pilot's shower because this is what love is at its very best, right? God, I hope you found better. If you haven't yet, then you will. And actually, I don't want to say, I hope you find better, because that is setting the bar so fucking abysmally low. So, OP, I hope you find what you truly deserve. As Naruto Headband said, it doesn't get any better than this. I don't know if I believe that, but I was definitely too messed up to fight about it. Despite limiting my access to Pilot and Pez and making fun of me when I did get to join, those were some of the best, most fun times that I ever had with Naruto Headband, when the boys shielded me from how he really was when we were alone. God damn, dude. The most fun times still seem pretty fucking miserable to me, honestly. All this while juggling living in a foster home. Hooray! Unfortunate's various dating partners and pregnancy scares, and a really demanding high school program in English. Some of our courses were entry level for uni, just to point out how hard I had to work for school, and moving into my own place to baby Naruto Headband, who couldn't do any housework or pay any bills. All he did was call me a cleaning Nazi for trying to keep the apartment tidy, or try to force me to get rid of my now 2 dogs, and I refused. Naruto Headband felt insecure about the dogs, too. Not the dogs, bro. What the fuck? They ain't even human. How is this? Oh, Naruto Headband. Hey, stop calling them sweethearts. I'd laugh. Why? They are sweethearts. I'd beam a smile to the dogs, who would wag their tails. Naruto Headband pouted. Sometimes it feels like you love them more than me. Oh, you shouldn't call them pet names. That should be only for me, the one that you truly love. Yeah, you want me to get you some liver treats and take you on a fucking walk, too? Like, what? Let's keep all things even. Go get your leash, boy. OP, how insecure do you actually have to be to feel inferior to a dog? He took the words right out of my mouth. Besides, loving dogs is different from loving people. Naruto Headband would not respond. He just got petulant. And while I never saw any more than him shutting the dogs out of the room when he didn't want them in, which was often, my oldest dog was afraid of anyone putting their hand towards her for a few years after I left Naruto Headband. I don't know what he did, but he terrified my dog. Poor little puppers. God damn, they're living in an abusive household too. I just hate everything about it. Between Unfortunate and Naruto Headband, the choice is clear. Which of them is worse? The Neckbeard, Naruto Headband, by far. In every story, the gap gets fucking wider. I still don't like Unfortunate, to be clear, but goddamn, this dude is just insufferable. I'll try to talk about more stuff. We need to get into Unfortunate ODing and how Naruto Headband got kicked out of the army for pulling a knife on someone. It's a joke. You thought the ride was getting lighter? Nah, none of that here. Goddamn, strap in. What is that Guitar Beard OP says? Fuckle your seatbelts. But we'll get into it another day. Do remember that laughter is the music of the soul. If you can laugh at it, then you can get over it. Also, aim to shower daily. It's good for you. Greenie, out. Oh, OP, continuing to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. To throw some Shakespeare in there, just so I can make it feel classy after all the talk about rape and abuse. Sorry, guys. I'm sure Shakespeare's rolling over in his grave. Naruto Headband, just truly the worst. The worst. I am making my case right here and now for Naruto Headband being the worst neckbeard that we've had on the channel. We've had sexual assaults. We've had animal abuse. We've had horrible relationships that go on for far too long. And this is all of that wrapped up into one. And it is so hard to stomach, but I keep on doing it because OP was brave enough to write about it, so I am brave enough to read it. And I thank you guys for being brave enough to listen to it. We'll be back probably in another 3-4 days with some more Unfortunate. Got a couple of other things going on the channel now. Octopreg Beard, Osgood, the Wholesome Beard, and of course Hulk Beard, which will be reaching its ends quite soon, I do think. I think maybe 2 or 3 more parts left. But yeah, I'm always cooking up that cringe daily, and I hope that you guys do enjoy. Let me know by liking, commenting, and or subscribing. Maybe share the video around if you should like. I always appreciate that. Check out the links in the description. Plugs, playlists, podcasts. Yes, indeed, the 3 Ps. We've also got my social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Come on through. Say hello. I'd appreciate it. We also got my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons over on Patreon. And I would like to thank them, as I do every video, in a chipmunk voice this time around. So thank you very much.
Robert Waits, Barenbow, Wanky Pants, Jarhead Jerry, River Jerry, TSM Kirby, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Captain Clown Jerry, Honk Honk, Cinnamon Susie, Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, Hee Hee, Hey Jerry, God damn it, it's happening again, Limousin, Mr. Anime Mega Fan, Silent Revolver, the Jerry behind the slaughter, watch out, Princess Jerry, Aaron W, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Jerry, woo, Assassin Pug Jerry, oh god, she changed her name, AXN Grizzly, Bearded Jerry, oh, Beardy, Bitch Gremlin, Blip Bloop, Cherish Kitsune, Commander Jerry Tank, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, a pimp named J. Chris, JM Coon, Jerry with an I, that is a different Jerry, the original Jerry, Jerry Satori, Jerry, that's more Jerry than the other Jerrys, and that is a Jerry fact. Damn it. There is no Jerry that's more Jerry than the other Jerrys except the original Jerry. You got that? I'm losing it. John Hero, Simbufa, because if your boofing is free. Kira M, Kitzikin, Miss Monday, Lexi Loves Jojo, Little Lone Wolf, Lord Lionel, Jacket's Rule, Vanilla Mel, Melgar the Destroyer, Mint Chip, Mirthful Baker, Mr. Jerry, son of ReddX, uncle's mom's cousin, roommate's 3rd grade teacher, sister, who is also named Jerry. My boy Nat with Nick, Natari, Lady Nix, Nightmare Jerry, Spoopy, Origami Jerry, gotta fold the ball, Phantom of the Pines, Princess Jerrykins, and Elizabeth, I assume, maybe, Jerry Beth, Sidestep Redwind, Rosemary Miller, Ramstower, Cider Serrated Ice, Staples, Jerry, Stephanie Gunder, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Fair, 10-Ton Monster, That's the Bug, The Witch with Flusky, The Better Marble Jerry, Upgrade, Treeberg, Wilmags, yet another different Jerry, Zero Blacktail, 211 Jerry, A Normal Jerry, Amara, Roxas, Banished Knight, Babushka's Radiated Jam, Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Carrot Jerry. Oh man, the swapping of the names back and forth, it's just boggling my mind. Chris Meska, Cinnamon Buddy Dog, Crip Jerry, Cuban Jerry, Defon Jerry, Ghost of Alpha, Goose says Honk, Jerry Bean, Jerry the Great, John Adores, KJW Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, Lepeachy Jerry, ooh, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, maybe next time, Midnight Sun, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Naga Viper, or Jerry Cam, Princess Rosalie Jerry, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptor Art, Saints Blessing, Spoonie the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, the Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry, the most different Jerry, Titana Jerry, Token Black Jerry. That's 5 Jerrys in a row? Good lord. And then, of course, we ended out with It's Totally Science. Go ahead and look it up. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact. Beautiful.
Thank you guys so much for supporting on the Patreon. I hope that some more people, some more Jerrys will come on through, sign up, at least consider it. But if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I mostly just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoyed today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos if you want. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, bye-bye.